How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is time for another video and it's almost 2024, which means we are going into a new year with a lot of new anime. So we're gonna take a look at the top 20 best anime of this year. And for me, if you ask me what my favorite anime was, I gotta say Finland Saga. I enjoyed that anime a lot. It helped my channel a lot. But beside that, I love the story. I love Season 2 was one of my favorite because of purely storytelling and character development. Although not everybody enjoyed it, and I can see why they didn't enjoy that compared to the first season, because the first season was just full with a lot of action, so I get it. But for me, I love storytelling, I love character development, and that's why I had a great time watching Mushoku Tensei and Re:Zero, because there was a lot of character growth in there and a lot of storytelling. But I gotta say my favorite was Finland Saga. There were a lot of other animes like Some 100, Blue Lock, and if I'm not mistaken, Chainsaw Man also came out this year. Then you got Spy X Family, a lot of great animes, but my favorite has to be Finland Saga. But yeah, this is a long video. This video was actually supposed to come out like 2 or 3 days ago, but I had a really busy couple of days at work. So yeah, I apologize for that. Without further ado, let's dive right into it.
As we approach the end of 2023, let me ask you something. What do you think about this year as an anime fan?
Fantastic.
Me? I think it's pretty damn awesome. Sure, there were some low points like constant production delays, but I guess with the grind and rigor of the seasonal anime schedule, some things just can't be avoided. The good points and the highs more than make up for it, however, and I'm here to share with you what I think are the 20 most amazing anime 2023 has given us. Starting things off, we have Mashle.
This is an anime that a lot of people have been talking about. And I think it's a really good anime as well.
If the goofy character designs and the bright colours remind you of something else, then you're not alone. And what better anime to pay homage to than one of the biggest titles of the 2010s, One Punch Man? Mashle, in a lot of ways, feels like a knockoff, not just to One Punch Man, but to other popular intellectual properties like Harry Potter too. You've got the crazy, overpowered character who's quiet and unassuming, you've got the magic school, you've got the techniques and the over-the-top fights that are common in a lot of shonen, and it's all awesome. Mashle simply proves that you really don't have to be super original in order to be a success.
I got something to say about that. I thought he was gonna say something like that. One of my favorite quote ever regarding filmmaking, because I study. Some of you may not know, but I study film and photography. But one of my favorite quote, and I think it's from Quentin Tarantino: take something that already exists and make it to something that doesn't exist. So yeah, I mean, that always happens in film and also in music or in TV shows or whatever. There's always an idea that you can take and make it into something that doesn't exist. I'm not saying take something that already exists and make a copy of it, because the original is always better. Well, I don't know, maybe not. But nevertheless, the original, in my opinion, sometimes is always better than a copy. So take something that already exists and make it into something that doesn't exist. And I feel like that's what they're doing with this anime. And that's why a lot of people love it.
Many bits of the show knockoffs, but practically speaking, it really isn't, as I believe it's mostly execution that matters here. At the end of the day, anime is here to entertain us, and with such a funny way of parodying anime tropes and overpowered protagonists, Mashle proves to be a winner.
A lot of people are talking about this anime.
Next, we have the first of many new looks at old faces, Trigun Stampede. Bringing back legacy series and giving them the modern treatment
reminded
in the
me
form of remakes has been a thing
Cyberpunk
the past
for some
couple of
reason.
years now. Of course, we shouldn't expect them all to be remakes, as these new retouches aim to tell the story from different angles or approaches. They've mostly succeeded in varying degrees, although there are instances like Shaman King where things just had to be rushed, like the anime team just wanted to get it over with. Thankfully though, Trigun Stampede isn't that, and as a fan of the original, I quite like the new approach they took with this one. Trigun's a franchise that's always amazed me with its world and strong thematic elements. It's been a pleasure being able to join Vash in his adventures back in the 90s, and I really don't mind how this modern version instead decided to focus more on the who and the how of things. It's a character-driven affair more than the predecessor, and it places more emphasis on hammering down the conflict between the brothers Vash and Knives. Trigun Stampede had some rough stretches in terms of reception to its CG, but I never found it to be jarring enough.
I was just about to say, I feel like the CGI is a little bit too much, a little bit. I don't know, looking at the original footage that he played in this video, I feel like I would rather watch the original one. But I get it, like this is new, it's fresh, and that's also cool. but I feel like I don't know, the CGI looks a little bit, I don't know. I don't want to say it's bad, but it looks a little bit different. Not weird, but it looks different.
Take away enjoyment from this cool show. Whether you're a fan of the OG or a new fan looking to get into the franchise, Trigun Stampede should definitely have something for you. My Happy Marriage is one show that you don't want to miss.
I thought this was gonna
Shows
be like...
that go all in on the drama and tragedy
never
aren't
mind.
exactly mainstream hits of a season. Even a known tearjerker, Your Lie in April, still had a bright and
Oh,
positive
I
outlook
need to watch Your Lie in
enveloping the
April.
anime's run. As such, I didn't expect My Happy Marriage, which is a fitting title, to set the anime world on fire and be a trending show or anything like that actually. But don't let that dissuade you, however, because if you're looking to find yourself in a whirlwind of emotions and witness a kind of anime with a different feel from what you're really used to, then this is one of the best that 2023 had to offer. My Happy Marriage doesn't pull back or mince words when it comes to the fates of the characters. There's a sense of suffering and despair lingering in this series that feels quite cynical than what we've come to expect from fiction. Still, that doesn't change the fact that it's nothing short of amazing in the story build-up department, as well as incorporating art and music in bringing out those heavy emotions. The character work is impeccable, and thematically speaking, I really like that no matter how much heavy drama there is, there's always a sense of hope. No matter how bleak things may be, the anime also hammers in the fact that things could turn for the better. It may be muted, subtle, and all of that, but it's nevertheless there, forming a strong foundation to an underrated show.
This looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. I love the art and also I would say the animation style. But I don't know what I can take from this video, like regarding the story. But I feel like this is a really good anime. It looks wholesome. Looks like it has a good storytelling, and it looks like a tearjerker as well. So.
Undead Girl Murder Farce is for those who like their fair share of whimsical
Undead
mysteries.
Girl. Oh, Undead. Wait, what?
Integrating the supernatural with mysteries and setting the story against a Victorian backdrop has proven to be quite a successful formula. Undead Girl
fuck was
Murder
that?
Farce takes a crack at that setup to a good amount of success, giving anime fans a great crime-solving anime that's full of suspense. It relies quite a bit on shock value, yes, but it also doesn't take away from the fact that the series boasts some likable characters with great chemistry and a plot that's quite fun to follow. Atmosphere is always something to look out for in this genre, and I do think it's one of the strongest suits for the anime. It really helps supplement the nice character dynamics and the banter, which makes up the other part of what makes a show like this click for me. Mystery may not be the most popular genre around, but we have a diamond in the rough here, you know.
I love mysteries. I love watching
another
whether
remake.
it's a show or an anime. I love the shock value, or not knowing, or the suspense I should say, not knowing what's gonna happen next, and then, you know, like finding it out. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I love ReZero so much, because I never knew what was going on, what was gonna happen. There were like these little subtle hints, and I love that.
Because the next entry on the list, Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin. If you guys don't know, you can see it here behind me. If you know who that guy is. I constantly forget his name, but because it's been a long time since I've watched the movies. But this character in Rurouni Kenshin, oh boy, something else. Love
In the
it.
same vein as Trigun Stampede, Rurouni Kenshin 2023 looks to bring a beloved 90s classic up to speed with a more modern take. It retells the classic story of Kenshin, the wandering swordsman looking for redemption and swore to never kill again, in a style more similar to the original manga. That means way better animation and a cleaner look than the original. Especially those of us who've been around to watch the original may have found it a bummer that the comedy was toned down. I get that take and I do agree to a certain extent, but like
No way, the comedy was one of the best things in the movies. Especially, I forgot the guy's name, but he has a huge sword. I think hopefully we're gonna see him in this, in one of those shots. He was having a fight with someone and they both stopped mid-fight. One of them was drinking wine, I think, or eating chicken. The other one was eating bread. And then they just ate in mid-fight, and then they both were like friendly to each other while they were eating. And then they start fighting again. Like, it was one of the funniest scenes.
what I said with Trigun Stampede, I don't think but that change is bad at all. This new version of Kenshin aims to retell the same legendary story with a slightly different approach, and I think that the more accurate adaptation
there he
makes
is
up
with a
for
big
it. It's
sword.
an opinion that I'll find myself
I forgot his
reiterating in
name.
another revival of a much beloved show down the line. Personally, I simply find it cool to see these popular anime of yesteryear get a modern rendition like this. It feels like a reunion with old school friends, and this time everyone looks better and acts in a way more apt for the modern era. There's a lot of love to put into this remake in places like
It's a
faithfully
pretty
adapting
interesting way
the
of
core
putting
essence
it.
of the story, I'd say, and watching it put the skeptic in me to rest. Zom 100 brings zombies back to the spotlight in 2023.
This anime is just on a whole nother level.
It doesn't seem too long ago when zombie flicks were all the craze. It's like a trend that comes every few years, it fades off, and then returns in a slightly different form. Literal zombie of a trend, if I may. Well, I don't think Zom 100 is here to bring back the hype for the zombie movie, but it sure manages to blend that concept with something a lot of young adults feel in this day and age of stressful work conditions and a bleak outlook of the future.
Gotta be honest, I'm working for a Japanese company at the moment, and that's why I'm just working constantly, and my schedule is like all over the place, especially because it's a holiday now. And I think this anime really shows how the how do I say it? How the workflow can be in a Japanese company. I think maybe because that's like it's like in their culture. I don't know if I can say culture, but it's like how do I put it? It's like a real like this happens in Japan. I think there's something like this going on at MAPPA right now with Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like work is just, it can be so, I don't know, I don't even have words for it. Like it can be so much, man. Like right now we're just working like double shifts, maybe even 3 shifts, and it's just crazy. So this anime was like, it really hit home for me, and I really enjoyed
Finding
it.
some modern dilemmas that resonate with the youth. And
Only bad thing about this anime is that they just kept pushing when the next episode was gonna come out, and then I just dropped it. I don't know, it was just too much.
Outlook of the future as wage slaves with a zombie survival setting seems to be a decent enough setting, but what helped push Zom 100 to prominence is just how great everything looks. To say that it's cinematic in quality, especially in the first episode, is an understatement. With newer fans placing more and more emphasis on art quality and animation as a barometer of what constitutes a good anime, Zom 100 manages to surge towards its status as the biggest up-and-comer. Now then, the unfortunate release schedule is something else though.
Exactly!
Dr. Stone New World marks the first sequel to be featured on this list.
We heard a lot of good things about Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone has been an adventure anime to talk about. From one season to the other, the anime manages to take on various elements and genres and make them as immersive and captivating as they could ever be. We all know Dr. Stone as the educational shonen anime, but whether it be exploring a new world or an emotionally charged conflict between opposing ideologies, the series just makes it work. With that being said, expectations were pretty high as the cast takes on their next challenge in the new world, and it ended up being a voyage to remember. A fun adventure story and great character dynamics continue to be the hallmark for Dr. Stone, and New World doesn't let up in any way as far as those are concerned. As we gain new layers of intrigue regarding the petrification that kickstarted the whole plot and meet new characters that shake up the dynamic even more, there's even more reason to keep watching Dr. Stone. I'm pleased to say as well that it's generally maintained the good quality story and world building that started in its first season. Up next is Hell's Paradise.
Oh, Hell's Paradise, also a really good anime. Totally forgot about it.
If you want something with a bit more edge in your adventure anime, Hell's Paradise could be your calling. The premise of an immortal convict setting sail to an island of danger with fellow convicts and his executioner seems thrilling enough, but wait till you see the actual action sequences. One thing Hell's Paradise always did for me is have me on the edge of my seat at how intense the best action sequences were. I also felt that the character and world building is really good in this anime, and the excitement.
I feel like a lot of animes this year has been pushed to a corner because of some really big names that came out. I think you had when Oshinoko came out, I feel like a lot of other animes got pushed to the side and everybody forgot about him. And I think that was the same period, the same time where season 2 of Finland Saga was out, and a lot of people were watching Finland Saga, definitely, and me included. But I feel like a lot of people didn't pay attention to that anime, and because Oshinoko was that big, and I think it even pushed what's it called, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood from the #1 spot for like a couple days or maybe even a week, but not anymore, of course. But it was such a huge anime that people forgot about a lot of animes or even didn't talk about it that much.
It never lets up per episode due to a mix of the mentioned intense action sequences and the unexpected deaths and turns in the narrative. One thing that people have noticed, that ends up being to the show's detriment is its reliance on narrative. There's a lot of narration in telling us about the island's dangers and all of that, so do keep it in mind when deciding to watch the anime. Still, it's a pretty nice watch if you want more hard-hitting action in your adventure anime. It's still fresh into its run, but I can't help but feature Frieren.
Never heard of this one. Dang.
Talk about a latecomer to the Anime of the Year sweepstakes. Frieren is a
Anime
full
of the
2023
year?
anime that I had high hopes for. It aired and broke those expectations, creating a wonderful story that defines what a complete anime looks like in 2023. The thing with Frieren is that it excels in so many areas, which makes it such a great anime to recommend to anyone looking to get into the medium. The story is well paced, and world building remains one of its strongest suits. And then you add to that the contemplative yet hopeful mood and multifaceted characters that embody those ideals, as well as visuals that are nothing short of breathtaking. And you then got what I call award-winning cinema in anime form. If you've got a friend looking to get into anime and is more of the type who prioritizes strong narrative and character building over cool action sequences, then this would be my pick for the whole of 2023. What the show lacks in the hype factor,
if it's that good, I may have to check it out then.
It more than makes up for with pretty much everything that critics and pundits would love in an anime.
Big words. Oh, of course. Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer has come a long way now, hasn't it? It no longer feels like the juggernaut it once was, with the new competitors rising from the horizon.
See, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. Like, even Demon Slayer didn't get as much hype as I thought it would get, to be honest. Because when I watched season 1 and season 2, and then I watched like the Mugen Train arc, I was like, yo, when this anime returns, everybody's gonna lose their mind. And I feel like people did lose their mind when the first 2 episodes came out. But after that, it was like, I don't know, silence. I think Oshinoko, and it was like one on the anime, but I can't wait. I'm gonna see if I can find it. No, it's not even there. But that's neither here nor there. I find it really I find it really sad that a lot of people didn't talk about Demon Slayer as much as I expected. But yeah, then again, you can't
to do
help
what it does best, and that's give us eye-popping fights with spectacular visuals. The visuals and the sound have always been Demon Slayer's strong suit, and what propelled it to become the behemoth
I don't know what
that it
they're
is.
smoking at
Things seem to have taken a bit of a
but
downturn though, but that's to be expected, given that the Swordsmith village was coming off a hype arc and was more focused on character building over the fighting. Still though, it delivered when it needed to, giving us a couple more moments to remember. We're now approaching the end game, and I can see a bright future ahead for Demon Slayer. The last few clashes against the Upper Moons will be glorious, and I hope you're going to be there to witness it.
Definitely. Yep.
Let's continue bringing out the big guns now. Up next is Mushoku Tensei Season 2.
Such a good anime. The sound as well, man. Oh my god.
Mushoku Tensei is always a subject of discussion in the anime community for many reasons, and it's continued to bring more of the same buzz with its second season. With a new season comes new challenges for our protagonist, who finally has to come face to face with one of the challenges in adolescence: heartbreak. Suffering a worse fall than ever and finding a renewed vigor to seek out answers regarding his life, he continues his adventures through the Northern Territories. Mushoku Tensei has maintained its status as a do-it-or isekai that looks pretty and really emphasizes character growth. It's one of the more direct anime in terms of following
that's
a
why I
protagonist's
enjoyed it.
footsteps as he
Character growth and
continues his march through
storytelling
life
was
and its
so good in
challenges,
this show.
exploring not only new lands but also new feelings within himself. There's still more action in this second season, but the mood is generally more somber and reflective.
Wow.
We move on to Oshinoko for the next entry.
Of course! If this wasn't in it, I would be like, okay, this list doesn't make sense. But of course.
必ず見つけ出して俺の手で殺すまでは
Around the middle of the year, Oshinoko was the hottest property in town.
Yep.
It's one of the most popular anime, and it's not hard to see why. It didn't waste time putting itself in position to make a statement. A movie-length opener with an amazing ending, a narrative that's just so immersive, and characters who all exude charisma while they struggle through all too relatable dilemmas. There's so much to like about Oshinoko, and that's not even talking about how it shows the rigors and less glamorous side of the entertainment industry. Oshinoko is an anime that expertly knocks some dark truths into the face of its audience
first
before
episode,
shifting gears and showing that there's a good and dreamy side to all
man.
the struggles at the end of it all. The characters and how they were written form the backbone of Oshinoko's rise. They've no doubt been the most integral part of the story, and when you put them into challenges brought about by the plot, you've got a series that you just can't let go of. A second season is on the way too, so you better get yourself up to speed with this one now.
The music is so
Blade of the
good.
Guardians lands in the top half of the list.
Yo! Yo! Oh my god!
If there's something I've learned from covering the best of Chinese anime, it's that they spare no effort when it comes
Yo, speaking of Chinese anime, I'm sorry for pausing the video so many times. I definitely will be checking out Link Click because a lot of people have been talking about it, and I've talked to people about it, and they said I should definitely check it out. But I feel like we need to cover. If you guys have any other Chinese anime, please send them my way. Put them in the comment section because I wanna check out a lot more because I've really been into some Chinese things the last couple of months, like music-wise, TV shows and movies. So if you have any Chinese anime, send them my way.
to animation. These are shows that don't have a lot of marketing, aren't exactly appealing to the typical anime audiences at first glance, and often get buried underneath the blockbusters of every season.
That's so
Yet,
sad.
Watching them, I develop a sense of appreciation for the effort and flexing by the animators, pushing a
Oh,
decent
this
to good
looks so
story to
good.
something that I'll gladly vouch for and recommend. 2023's testament to that is none other than The Blade of the Guardians, a story that's pretty simple in premise, but shows its excellence when it comes to characters and animation. A story of a man accepting dangerous missions in ancient China that inevitably escalates tenfold may seem to be a plot that's not unique, but it all hinges on the execution.
how
And
sick
the way
they
Blade
draw
of the
it.
Guardians moved with its plot, I can't help but keep wanting more. Historical anime are also something I like, so that could have played into why I ended up enjoying this one so much, actually. This is something you can give a chance if you're looking for those diamonds in the rough in the world of anime. Barely any marketing,
Okay.
but in it lies one of the most captivating stories 2023 has given us.
Oh! I love the fact that it's not really like clean. It's a little
Bungo Stray
bit
Dogs
messy,
is in its
but
4th and 5th seasons for this year, and it just
Dang.
keeps getting better.
well,
Bungo
damn.
Stray Dogs
That
has
was
the
quick.
distinction of being an anime that just keeps getting better season after season. While at the same getting
Hearing
better late
good
down
stuff
the line
about
can be said
Bungo
of many
Stray Dogs
shows,
as well.
Bungo Stray Dogs manages to sustain that upward trajectory that a lot of popular series can't, having lull periods in between epic arcs, for example. To put it simply, this franchise has only gotten more and more interesting, and it still remains underrated for how good it's become. A lot of it has to do with how the stakes have become higher now compared to before. I've seen a couple of people know that this was the first time threats felt super real for some of the characters, something that I'm actually inclined to agree with. With how well this season has done in the character development department, it adds to the thrill and suspense of waiting for each episode and wondering what twists the story has left to throw at its audience.
As long as there's character development and good stories, I'm in.
The
Okay,
hype for Heavenly Delusion wasn't misplaced, and it ended up being
wait, this is the anime that I was talking about, Heavily Delusion. This anime was almost on a slip under the rug, but then for some reason it just blew up, and it was, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, during the same time that Demon Slayer was out, and people were talking more about Heavily Delusion than Demon Slayer, which I get, to be honest.
One
But
of
it
the
was
best anime of
still
the
kind
year.
of sad. Yeah.
I've got to admit that I didn't know what to make of Heavenly Delusion at first. A
Same.
post-catastrophic world with an isolated society that's not exactly what it seems on the surface. What I love about Heavenly Delusion is how it engages the viewer. Mysteries are much more fun when the audience gets a chance to join in with wondering about the events, piecing together puzzles and the like. The way stories from inside the nursery society and the outside world are told side by side is just genius, allowing anime fans to use their brains and just piece things together. Like the
So
mentioned
true.
shows, there's this eerie and uncomfortable feeling hanging over most of Heavenly Delusion, and it contrasts perfectly with more light-hearted scenes. There's some strong character work as well, and it works hand in hand with some of the more mature themes that the anime showcases in its narrative. I won't exactly call Heavenly Delusion an underappreciated title from its season, since a lot of people I know did take a crack at it. However, in terms of quality, it can more than stand toe-to-toe with the giants of 2023 without half the popularity of something like, say, Oshi no Ko. This anime is a real gem
Damn,
and you should
really?
definitely try.
Oh, this scene was crazy.
プルート
まさかこいつが
Here's Pluto taking the
This anime was it was announced right before I stopped uploading and everything, and it looked really cool. I think I watched the trailer, if I'm not mistaken, while I was streaming. I don't know anymore, but I do remember this title.
this next spot on the list. The people who came into watching Pluto may have done it out of reputation. With the renowned name behind the anime, someone could easily brush Pluto off as a show living on reputation. But it's the real deal. If you're up for a mature sci-fi mystery that wrestles with the idea of humans and robots coexisting, then you've come to the right place. Pluto keeps its narrative pretty compact, spanning
Looking
8
back at it, I don't
episodes of
think
an
I
hour
watched this
each,
trailer.
every moment filled with scenes that either make you think
I think I
or
only
get
saw
your
the
heart
announcement.
pumping. That's pretty much what you'll like from a crime thriller, and with the plethora of
This
cliffhangers,
looks
it
good.
won't take long for anyone to get hooked. Seriously, give Pluto a shot. It may not have as much hype as the biggest hits of 2023, but it is a true gem, full of great action and introspective questions.
聞きたい人間の像は消えますか消去しても消えないものですか
Bleach marches on as one of the
Of
best
course.
of 2023, narrowly
Of
missing
course,
my top
Bleach.
3 spot. In what's become one of the greatest revivals of them all, we have Bleach maintaining its momentum with the 1,000-year Blood War. It's not an understatement to
Aizen.
say that a bit over
Savage.
half a decade ago, Bleach's reputation was in the gutter thanks to its final arc in the manga, unanswered questions and lots of rushing being the main culprit. Thankfully though, the anime has filled in the holes and given us so much more. What I've said about the first part of the 1,000-year Blood War holds true for its second part, which has gone the extra mile in giving anime viewers more lore and fights that were far improved from their manga counterparts. All of a sudden, a lot of the context and the emotional stakes for the titanic clashes in the arc started to make a lot more sense. Bleach fans have been feasting since the 1,000-year Blood War anime arrived, and it will continue for the foreseeable future. But take note, we're just at the halfway point. We've still got an entire half of Bleach ahead, a half which will no doubt add even more background and layers to some of the most intriguing characters Kubo ever came up with.
Yeah, I mean, like, Bleach has been around for a while, if I'm not mistaken.
Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2
course.
takes the next spot.
Okay, here's where I gotta pause it, since I haven't watched a single thing of season 2. So we're gonna skip this because I don't want to see. I only watched episode 1, so we're gonna skip this and go to part 2.
In second place is Attack on Titan, the final season.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Now, if you were to go back a decade ago and tell me that the thrilling show about humans standing up and fighting against unstoppable titans would turn out to be whatever this final season has become, I just wouldn't have believed you. Yet at that time, my gut would also tell me that it's within the realm of possibility. Attack on Titan has certainly come a long way, and the drastic change in status quo in preparation for this part of the final season makes for an ultimate confrontation to remember. People have been calling the final season the best one so far, and while that is debatable, I think it speaks to how well Attack on Titan has transitioned as the goals of the story and the characters' motivations have changed. Compare this season to the first one, and you'll feel like you're looking at a different show given the drastic shift in status quo and overlying philosophy behind the
Yeah,
series. It just
season
speaks to
one was
how
just
flexible
different
Attack on
compared
Titan
to
is
what
in
it
giving
is now.
consistently immersive plot lines for fans to follow while telling a message through different lenses. Along with some amazing work by the anime team in the production department, this is the finale that Attack on Titan fans deserve. They've been waiting for this pretty much for a decade, and it's time to see the thrilling conclusion.
Oh wow, a decade.
Finishing up, we have Vinland Saga.
Okay.
top anime.
I didn't expect Finland Saga to be number 1. I thought it was gonna be something else, like, I don't know. Anything but Finland Saga, but this is cool. This is really cool. Hey, I love this. I love this.
2023.
What did he say?
We have. Finishing up, we have Vinland Saga, my top anime of 2023.
Me too, man. It's my top anime as well. Oh man, imagine not watching this anime, man.
It might be a pretty surprising pick to many to a certain extent. I've made it no secret that I just love Vinland Saga.
Me too.
I really like the anime and even had it as the best anime of 2019. But
Damn.
things have changed for the series. No longer is it about the dangerous and daring adventures through the seas. No longer is it a gritty tale of revenge and internal intrigue. It's ended up becoming a slice of life / drama show, so
Yep.
what gives? I'd argue that even in this form, Vinland Saga continues to excel in what it does best. Character writing. The change in genre might
Exactly.
be jarring to a lot of fans from 2019, and honestly speaking, I did feel that way too. But if you look past the fact that there's not too much of the intense action anymore, the essence, the key components of what makes it so great, they're actually still there. Spectacular art that lets us take in some breathtaking scenery, methodical plot points that help build character and
Yeah.
give us some time to reflect, as well as a lot of philosophical questions imbued in the narrative. Vinland Saga actually feels like it's pushed the bounds of what anime typically is, and that to me makes it deserving of this spot as my best anime of 2023.
I totally agree with what he said. I think a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people watch anime for not only just, of course, the story, because the story has to be good, but a lot of people expect action. And I think season 2 proved a lot of people wrong, and it proves that an anime can also be really, really good without a single ounce of action, which I really love, because the story development in season 2 was just on a whole nother level. Yeah.
It's been a fun journey of reflection and nostalgia, and I hope you've had fun watching this video. Once again, we at ViniTube thank Reverse1999 for sponsoring today's video. Click the link in the description in order to get some release perks.
Yeah,
Hope
this
to see
was
you
a really
in-game.
this was a really good video. I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well, because there were a lot of great animes, and I think there are a lot of other animes that weren't featured on this list. So if there's an anime that you enjoyed this year, let me know down in the comment section, and which one of these animes would you put on number 1 if you don't agree with this list. And yeah, I will definitely see you guys on the next video. I hope you guys are all doing fine. I'm so happy to be back uploading. Unfortunately, this video is a bit later than I promised to upload it, but like I told you guys before, my work is just kicking my ass at the moment, and it's also my birthday this weekend, so it's kind of a busy week for me. But nevertheless, I will try my best to upload more videos for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys later. Take care. Peace.